When I was staying at Covenant House, every time I turned around, one of my friends was around me writing suicide letters.
Is this an AC or is this
This one.
right here?
It's here. And they're, like, the suicide letters, I'm like, why? They shouldn't have to do that. Like, they shouldn't have to feel like no one cares about them. And a lot of them are PKs also. And I'm like, why? If I understand if you don't want to go to church, that's cool. But don't let the church shouldn't teach them what they're teaching them basically. They're basically teaching them that they're not loved and that they're nothing. So they're going to be nothing. And now they're taking their lives because they actually believe this, that they're nothing when they're actually someone and something in their people. So I'm like, I don't want that. I want to do better. I want to show better. I want to step it up a notch and not say, okay, it gets better when. I want it to get better now.
What would you say to all the folks who are out there doing these It Get Better When videos? What would you say to them, all these adults and movie stars who are really trying to communicate and support you folks? You know, what would you tell them about their videos?
If they wanted to get better, when they have to make it a now, because when the next time someone takes their life is not going to be okay, I want to see them do it now and step in now and do their best they can to save life, basically. Be a superhero that someone's looking up to you for. You have people looking up to you telling, and they're listening, people are listening to you tell you, okay, it'll get better when such and such and such happens. That's not going to cut it, because while you're waiting for your win, they're taking lives now. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that to keep happening.
So what would you suggest that adults do instead?
Step up and mentor. Take the time out of your everyday lives to just take a group of kids and show them, okay, look, we care about you. Do something that kids here, they like art. They don't have any artist space out here for a lot of 18s. Like, they don't, and now they're thinking that their art is nothing. And I have a bunch of my friends who are artists that they won't do anything involving art because they don't see it and they don't feel safe. I know that's why I like CAGs. That's why I'm in the CAGs I'm in. Cause I'm like, I want to see a difference. They don't feel safe doing anything. They're like, okay, their art won't get anywhere because it is about their sexuality and their life, and people already see their life as being the biggest problem. When you have everyday lives, people are dying, taking lives. So I'd be more concerned about the people taking lives than someone's sexuality. They're still humans. Treat them like humans. Homo, human, hetero. They're all people.
I want to tell you, so I went home to see my parents last weekend, who come from a very privileged background, and they were, as I share with them stories about the young people I work with, they're like, and my father said to me, you know, people do not know this. They live in their worlds, they live in their everyday lives, people in his, you know, and they don't know that people are suffering in this way. And so I like what you're saying is if we can, people need to know what's happening. Because I think if they know, they'll step up. Or I hope they will step up.
Honestly, like, people will say all the time, that's not my comfort zone, I don't really want to go there. Well, it's not about your comfort zone. Think about your superhero. Superhero steps out of their comfort zone every day to go save a life. You're walking in front of stuff. Like, you see people fighting. If you see somebody being picked on, take a stand. Like, do something, say something. Like, don't just walk away because it is what it is, because it's not. The person getting picked on could go home that day and take their life.
That's the most interesting thing about bullying is most of the time nobody steps in.
People just let it go like it's normal, and I'm like, why is that the norm? Why is it okay? I don't want to. I walk around in Philly so often, and I'll see somebody, like, when the school kids get out, I'll see them, they'll pick on certain kids, and honestly, like, a few times I probably walked away, but a few times also I've stopped and said, look, like, I've stepped in, and I'm like, even though that's risking my own, I'd rather risk my own to save somebody else, because I know how I was when I was growing up in school, getting picked on, chased home. I don't want to see somebody else go through that, because that hurts and it causes pain beyond the imagination, can possibly think and imagine. Like, it's not only physical, but it's a mental issue, and they can grow up to be psycho serial killers because all their life they've been picked on and no one showed them love. So just step out, reach out a hand, and give somebody something you normally wouldn't, like time, and don't always just talk. Because adults have this thing when you're telling them stuff, they'll try to talk to you and argue with you. Don't talk. Stop talking. listen, and when they're done talking, then you respond. And don't respond and just saying, okay, I hear you, or oh, it'll be okay, or oh, we'll fix it then. Like, respond with some type of attitude to it. Respond like you really want to do something, and not only do you really want to do something, but really do it. Like, don't just tell them, okay, we're going to do this, because I fear every day people telling me, oh, well, okay, Allie, this can happen, or okay, Allie, this is what we're going to take time out to do, or okay, and then I wait for you, and I'm like, why aren't we doing anything? I hear you talking to me. I don't want to hear you. Let your actions speak for you, because actions speak louder than words. I hear you, but I don't want to hear you. I want to see you. Be seen and not heard. Stop talking to me and do something. So that's basically where I stand with that.
You're asking adults to step up and step out.
Yeah, step out of your comfort zone. Do what you got to do to show somebody else you care, because that life you save could save a whole bunch of generations.